If you're a broke teenager, you're actually rich. In fact, you are richer than Bill Gates. I better explain that. Let's get into it. Hey, what's up guys? Elman here. Today gonna explain to you why if you are a teenager, you are richer than Bill Gates. In fact, if you're in your low 20s, mid 20s, upper 20s, even if you're in your 30s, you are richer than Bill Gates. In fact, if you're in your 40s or 50s, you are richer than Bill Gates because you have more time than Bill Gates does. Now, I'm not saying Bill Gates is gonna die tomorrow. That is not a threat. I just understand that I think he's in his 60s now, which means he has less time, quite likely, than most people who are in their teens and 20s and 30s. Now, being rich is not inherently useful if you do not know what to do with it. And that's true for many people, okay? They do not know what to do with their time. They have no idea how to properly use it to make the most of their life. Now, the beautiful thing about having all this time and the beautiful thing about being able to be rich is that it doesn't look the same for everyone. It doesn't mean that you have to be a millionaire or you have to solve world peace or feed every hungry person out there. It can look different for different people. Most people never attain that goal of using their wealth in time to create wealth in other ways. And that is something that I strive for every day and would encourage you to strive for. And we're gonna talk a little bit about it in this video, how we properly do that. Now, if we look at Bill Gates, when he did have the most valuable resource of time, he obviously used it really well, right? He educated himself properly, he met the right people properly, and he put in a ton of hard work. He exchanged his time for different kinds of wealth later on in life, and he did it very efficiently and very well. Now, I'm not expecting everyone to go be the next Bill Gates, right? I already said it depends on the person what this looks like. In fact, if everyone was the next Bill Gates, the economy would go kind of terrible and we'd have inflation worse than World War I. What I'm trying to help you avoid is viewing time as a luxury instead of a resource. We do have an abundance of it in our perspective as is now. But if you ask most elderly people out there, they'll say, it went by real quick. And the fact of the matter is, I believe them. I truly do. And I try to live every day like that time will slip away. The other beautiful thing about time is no one is rich and no one is poor. We all get 24 hours each. We all get the same amount of time, and we can do with that time as we please. So now that I've told you that you're richer than Bill Gates and the most valuable resource on earth, which is time, what do we actually do with it? What are we gonna do about it? How are we going to make use of that time? I'm glad you asked. I'll tell you exactly what you should be doing. You should be doing something, anything at all. That's what I tell my friends. If they're not in college right now, be working, but also take advantage of that time you have in the evening. If you love to play video games, sit down, record yourself playing video games, comment over it, learn video production, put it on YouTube. Hey, doesn't that sound familiar? Actually, now that you mention it, go check out the other bits on the channel. I love to give financial advice, but I also love to do stupid stuff and video it. So that's what I did. Not only should you be taking advantage of this time by just doing something or anything, you should be aggressive with what you do because you have so much time. You should dream big. You should strive for those goals. You should be a self-educator as well. You cannot achieve your goals if you do not properly educate yourself, or at least try to educate yourself in something that you enjoy and that you want to pursue. Also understand in a more practical sense, what you can do is capitalize on your time equity. What I mean by this is, if you have money and you want to grow that money, and it's dependent on how much time it takes to grow that money, you have all the time in the world, right? You can crunch the numbers on this. You can put $100 tomorrow in a fund that is returning 11% per year for 50 years. Now that's pretty aggressive, but it can be done. And you're gonna have upwards of $18,000 to show for your $100, okay? You can go mow 4 lawns tomorrow. Easy peasy lemon squeeze. That'll take you at most 3 hours, 4 hours, something like that. And in 50 years, you'll have $18,000 to show for it. Now, of course, inflation is gonna mess with you a little bit, but trust me, not from $100 to $18,000. You can take your money and utilize the time you have in order to make the most of that money. And that's something that a lot of teenagers miss. Aside from not actually doing anything with their time, they don't use the money that they have. And I really like money. I think making money is a good thing to do. I think using it properly as a resource to benefit yourself and arguably more importantly others is an amazing thing to do. So I really do hope that you understand that your time can be a resource, both for growing your money and growing yourself. I would encourage you to take advantage of it to the fullest while you have an abundance of it. Now, I don't believe that you should be one of those 20-year-olds or 30-year-olds who works 70, 80 hours a week because you're trying to get ahead and make $1 million a year. I don't believe that's a good allocation of your time either. Because if we can't enjoy our abundance of time, what is the point of having it, right? Finding that balance between utilizing your time and enjoying it is a beautiful thing, honestly, and I've really enjoyed the process of trying to find that balance over the last few years of my life. I guess everything can be summed up with saying be wise with your riches, both monetary, time, and anything else you can think of, and they will be multiplied and sent back to you and others in ways that you cannot imagine and in many, many different ways than you sent them out. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please subscribe to the channel and go check out some of the other videos that I got on the channel, both financial and otherwise. With that, I'd like to thank you very much for watching this episode, and I will see you over in the next one.